It's not always your partner, sometimes it's your pattern. Before you say, I do, ask yourself, what in me must first be undone? Beloved, it's my heartfelt desire for your marriage to stand out, thrive, and testify of God's glory. I pray that your union won't just be a ceremony, but a sanctuary. I want to see you win in love, but desire alone is not enough. Many marriages aren't dying from a lack of love, they are bleeding from unhealed patterns. These patterns hide behind smiles, religious language, romantic photos, and even wedding rings. Yet silently, they sabotage joy, drain trust, and invite division. Some patterns are inherited, others are shaped by trauma, upbringing, bitterness, fear, or past relationships. Sometimes, couples sit in courtrooms signing divorce papers not because they didn't love each other, but because they didn't recognize that what they were fighting wasn't each other, they were fighting old demons wearing new faces. One blames the other, avoiding personal responsibility. One becomes distant, emotionally unavailable when connection is most needed. One shuts down without a word, hoping silence will solve what communication should. One speaks but never feels heard, and frustration becomes their language. One walks on eggshells, terrified of triggering yet another outburst. One explodes without warning, releasing buried pain in destructive ways. One withholds affection, using emotional distance as silent punishment. One clings out of fear, mistaking control for closeness. One controls every detail, believing structure will save what surrender should. One lies to avoid confrontation, layering dishonesty over already fragile trust. One keeps score of every mistake, turning love into a battlefield of debts, where accusations fly, like a bullet. But behind it all, patterns are responsible. So before you walk down the aisle with excitement, walk through the corridors of your soul with honesty. Check your patterns before you say, I do. Are you controlling, defensive, withdrawn, manipulative, overly dependent, emotionally unavailable, or easily triggered? Don't excuse it. Please work on it. Don't spiritualize dysfunction. Confront it with humility and truth. How you are now can sabotage what you're praying for. Understand your patterns. Patterns before marriage is vital. Understanding is the doorway to awareness, and awareness is the foundation for change. You must dig deeper and ask, what do I keep repeating in different relationships? What triggers the emotional reactions I often excuse? What beliefs have I internalized that don't align with truth? What memory have I buried that still bleeds beneath the surface? What generational struggle am I unknowingly continuing? What you don't trace, you can't transform. What you don't know, you can't truly pray against. What you refuse to admit, you cannot surrender. What you ignore will grow stronger. What you protect in darkness will torment you in covenant. Work on your patterns before you walk down the aisle. Knowing is good, but healing comes through action. Go for counseling. Sit under godly mentorship. Fast, pray, study the word, journal, heal. Some patterns won't break until you confront them with both spiritual power and practical obedience. Marriage is not the solution for brokenness, it's the revealer of what you refused to deal with. If you ignore your patterns now, you may end up praying over the pain later. Dear one, don't carry unprocessed pain into a covenant that demands wholeness. The ring doesn't erase trauma. It may shine on your finger, but it can't silence the screams of past pain echoing in your soul. The altar doesn't cast out pride. You can kneel with a bowed head and still rise with a stubborn heart. Love doesn't cure what you refuse to confront. It may warm your chest for a season, but unspoken wounds will still leak through every embrace. The wedding dress doesn't cover generational dysfunction. You can glide down the aisle in lace and satin, yet still carry chains beneath the fabric. The honeymoon doesn't heal childhood wounds. No ocean breeze or candlelit dinner can erase the sting of a father's absence or a mother's harsh words. The vows don't silence the voices in your head. You can promise forever, but the whispers of insecurity and fear still beg for attention in the dark. The bedroom won't fix a broken mindset. Even in intimacy, if your mind is fragmented, connection feels like collision. The ring can't hide emotional instability. Sparkle can distract for a moment, but eruptions still come when pressure builds. The reception won't restore your self-worth. 1,000 cheers and raised glasses can't fill the silence of your own self-rejection. The titles, husband and wife, won't mature an unteachable spirit. Being called a spouse doesn't mean you've learned to listen, grow, or submit to God's refining hand. Preparation is not just about buying rings and setting dates. It's about pulling down strongholds and renewing your mind. If you carry a broken foundation into marriage, you will constantly blame your partner for a pain they didn't cause. You cannot build a holy covenant on a shaky identity. Healing is not selfish, it is sacred stewardship. So take time, slow down, be honest, be healed. God is not in a hurry, He is in the business of building things that last. Don't just prepare for a wedding, prepare for the weight of a marriage. Because when the music fades and the crowd goes home, it's your patterns, not your playlist, that will determine whether love stands or falls. Let healing become your preparation, and wholeness your bridal garment. Together, we can make our marriages thrive, by recognizing patterns early, and working on them before they start working against us. Together, we can break cycles of silence, by choosing communication over assumption and compassion over pride. Together, we can rewrite our love story, by healing from what hurt us and embracing what helps us grow. Together, we can protect our bond, by setting boundaries that guard us from outside voices and inner wounds. Together, we can outgrow toxic templates, by choosing God's truth over generational patterns. Together, we can face hard conversations, not as enemies, but as partners committed to understanding. Together, we can heal the cracks, not by hiding them, but by bringing them to the light with grace and honesty. Together, we can prioritize connection, not just through words, but through presence, patience, and prayer. Together, we can repair what we didn't break, by standing as chain breakers, not cycle repeaters. Together, we can protect the atmosphere of our home, by casting out criticism and cultivating kindness. Together, we can protect what we've built, by refusing to let pride do what Satan couldn't. Together, we can move past the past, by choosing to heal, not just to hide. Together, we can model godly love, for our children, our community, and future generations. Together, we can mature emotionally, by admitting when we're wrong and celebrating when we grow. Together, we can honor our vows, not just on the altar, but in the everyday unseen moments.